Hello, my beauties. Welcome to the second installment of Moon Magic. You are sitting here with me in my bit of an alternate world in the moon landscape that I like to set here. And in Moon Magic, what we do is we talk about what the moon is doing as it goes through the month. And there's, of course, two very distinct phases. One being the new moon, the other being, you guessed it, the full moon. And tonight we're going to be talking about the Gemini full moon on December 3rd, 2017. Oh man, you guys, this is going to be an extremely powerful moon. Last time I talked about the Scorpio full moon being a new moon being a really great time to start this series. And I feel like this full moon is a great first full moon for moon magic because, okay, it's a super moon. It's a little bit closer to Earth. The moon's just that little hair closer to Earth, which gives it this bigger impact. For those of you who are a little bit sensitive to full moons as far as what that draws out of you, you probably feel this a little bit more. But even more importantly, what is happening with this full moon is really intense. So the day that we have the full moon in Gemini, we also have Gemini's ruling planet, Mercury, going retrograde. Same day. Not only that, but Mercury and Saturn are conjunct. So Saturn's been, and this is all, and Mercury and Saturn are hanging out in Sagittarius, the opposite sign to Gemini. So we have the sun in Sagittarius, we have the moon in Gemini, we have Gemini's ruling planet in Sagittarius, and we have Saturn in Sagittarius. As you can imagine, these dueling energies, these oppositional energies, highlight a lot. And what do they highlight? They highlight the truth. Now, full moons are normally times of really, it's a spotlight. It shines light on things that are amiss, that need to be changed, things that we want, things that need to be addressed, communication that has to be had. And because this full moon is in Gemini, Gemini is all about communication and relation to other. And it is being challenged with the Mercury retrograde and the sun in its opposite sign and Saturn in its opposite sign. And Saturn is sitting there opposing this Gemini full moon, saying, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? What are you going to say? And a Mercury retrograde, the beginning of that. Mercury retrograde, yes, it's about communication. It's about our electronics and all of this stuff, right? That's the classic thing. We all get a little nervous because things tend to break or communications tends to break down. But what Mercury retrograde also does is it forces us to slow down enough to look at what we really want to be saying. You know, when we're in full high speed, everything's moving forward, it's really easy to just skip over something that's going on internally, something that is not sitting right. And with the last couple of months, the things that have been getting dredged up with Neptune in retrograde and then going direct, with the truth bombs that were coming out in October and November, there has been these little bits of story that people have been leaving out when they have been expressing themselves. And this full moon is one of those full moons that's going to bring those little bits that people have been hiding from themselves and from others in these big truth shift energies. Those little bits are going to be coming out. Those little bits that are very important. These are people's deeply held emotional truths. These are people's needs and things that they don't want to admit they need. These are people coming forward and saying, you were right, I was wrong. Now this can also be the opposite. This can be people resisting the pull of this full moon. This can be people speaking quickly or impatiently. Even with that retrograde, one of the things with retrograde is Mercury retrograde is communication breaks down. It gets confused. It's like it has to go through, it's like looking at a mirror in a shattered glass, and there's distortion. You can't quite see the picture. So there's two things going on here. So if you happen to be somebody who's receiving a big moment of truth this month, be calm with that full moon energy. Wait. Give yourself a little bit of time to take it in. And for those of you out there looking to speak a truth, take your time. Feel it. Know it's true before you speak. Always wise to do that. Now, this moon is about speaking up. It is about telling your heart's truth. It is about telling your bone deep truth. So that can be heavy depending on where you are and who you are in the world. Rest up before this full moon. Neptune is asking us to release old wounds as well. And not only that, with all of this truth telling, with all of this expanding on these really deep topics, we're being asked where we're setting healthy boundaries and where we're limiting ourselves, where we're stopping ourselves, where we're holding back from truly connecting with others. This full moon will bathe you in light. It's the kind of full moon, you guys, that you will want to get out of that spotlight. You will not want to see maybe something. You will not want to have to address something. You will not want to have to say something or do something or hear something, but yet it wants to come out. These are truths that have been resisting their spotlight for a little while. And a lot of these truths, I don't want to scare you guys, a lot of these truths are just about releasing things that have been dragging people down for the last 3 or 4 months. Even the last 6 months, honestly. Things that have been lurking around and kind of keeping people in chains. Now, I'm doing a 3-card clarifier tonight. Last time I did 1. I just did 1 card for the new moon. But this full moon needs something new. Oh man, and here it is. I'll show you the 3 cards that came up for this. We have the 2 of Wands, the Devil, and the Ace of Cups, and this is exactly it. The 2 of Wands is about looking out across the horizon. What is possible? What has been holding you back that wouldn't allow you to look past this horizon? What truths have you been holding back? Do you love somebody and you haven't told them? Are you done with a friendship and you haven't told them? Have you not set a boundary and it's keeping you from looking out on the horizon? Because this full moon is asking you to look out on your own horizon. What does your horizon look like? Not only that, it's asking you to look at this devil energy. At this energy of feeling locked into an old cycle. That old cycle has to be broken. This is epic, you guys. This is some of these patterns are very deep in us that are going to be illuminated with this full moon. But in breaking the chains, what do we get? Emotional renewal, emotional second chances to take our hearts and our minds out here into the horizon. This is a moon that is calling all of us to be brave enough to see what's next. To be brave enough to ask what is around the next corner. In life, we're all adventurers. And we never know what's coming next. But the most skilled adventurers know that it requires always looking at a horizon ahead of you, and that it requires being flexible enough to release pattern, to release deeply ground in beliefs about our limitations, about our value, to know that how we become bigger, better, different people is by utilizing skill sets we've never used before. Now that can be scary, but this moon is actually asking us to be open, to be honest, to be fully of ourselves, for ourselves, and therefore the ones we love. So while there is all this challenge, there is all this real energy influencing this moon, it's a benevolent moon. It wants us all to be better. So trust it. Take a deep breath. Expect your perception of what you thought was right and wrong to be shifted. Expect your expectations to shift. Expect your perception to shift. And expect to feel a freedom from whatever the last 6 months have been bringing you. With that, my lovelies, I am sending you all the best for this full moon. I genuinely am looking forward to it. And as usual, I'm wearing pink LUNE. I'm going to leave her info in the description box so you can get that 15% off. She makes amazing moon-themed jewelry for those of you who are looking for a little bit of inspiration from our mother moon and her beautiful wisdom. I love you all so much. I will see you at the next Moon Magic, and I'm sending you all the blessings.